All right. So here we are. We first of all need the range of motion dance. And Kevin, were you gonna show them? Did you remember that one? You're gonna guide our range of motion dancers. Yeah. Here it is. So you're gonna right over here. Yeah. Watch me, guys. Watch me from here. You're gonna lunge out. Do this. All right. Yep. Then you're gonna lunge out with the other foot. Yep. Do that. Give me a big kick with your right foot. Big kick with the right foot. Big kick. Yep. Big kick with the left foot. Yep. One single jumping jack. And then flap around like a bird. Flap around like a bird. Run around like a little bird. Come back to where you were standing. Give me a T-pose. Give me a T-pose. And remember, always start and end with a T-pose. Okay? You ready to do it for real? And T-pose. Roll in. Okay, lunge forward with one foot. Arms up, arms down, arms back up, lunge back. Lunge the other foot. Out, down, back up. Give me a big kick, right foot. Big kick, left foot. Single jumping jack. And dance around like a little bird. There you go. All right, so go back to your positions. Give me a T. Awesome, and cut. All right, good. You're now part of the lexicon. You're in the system. Let's go and see what that take looks like. Fantastic. Good job. Did you already stop? Go for it. Okay. I must have hit something. Good kicks. Good kicks. And then at 10%, you're a little birdie, you said you're going real slow. Cool. All right. So all four of you guys, go ahead and relax right now. You'll get plenty of exercise in a few moments. I'm going to go through the pipeline of getting into Unreal. You're welcome to go to the classroom or hang out in here. Either is fine. All right. Thank you so much. We got your data. That's all I wanted was your juicy data. All right. So we're screencasting, we're screen recording, and we're going to start doing the pipeline. Oh yeah, just leave it there. It's fine. Thank you. Okay. So we want to get data from OptiTrack. First of all, one thing we can do is always rename things, right? We can rename it to what we want it to be. So this is range of motion for today's date, right? Which is 22nd. Range of motion for 2/2. Okay, I can't save it when it's open, but I apparently will. Okay, there we go. Fine with me. I'm just gonna hit save because there's a little blue dot next to it. I don't want it to crash. All right, now everything's saved. Cool. Let's go back into it. Did I screw it up? That'd be really funny if I did that. Undo. Undo. That'd be something I already did before. Let's do 422. What is this saying? Save. Show me the file. 422. Let's drag it again. Yes. Well, that was the weirdest thing ever. Let's drag it back in. Alright, we're gonna grab everyone. Hey, Nick. Hey, Tenray, we're gonna do one quick recording. We're just gonna be flying around like birds, okay? Can you run back? Somehow I have done a whoopsie that I've never done before. We're gonna go into live mode. And just give me a T-pose. Just real quick. And thank you. We're gonna hit record and go. Give me a little range of motion. I won't do that again. So lunge out with your right foot, right? Lunge out with your left foot. Give me a big kick on the right foot. Give me a big kick on the left foot. One jumping jack, and do the little birdie stuff and come back to your space and give you a T. Fantastic for the T. And this time I'll just hit the save button. I won't try to rename it while it's open. And I'll send OptiTrack an error report. All right, you can go sit down. Thank you so much. I promise I'm not trying to haze you. All right. Oh, okay, there's that one. This has never happened before. Where is this? Let's see, 422. Take 22. Take 2020. 1207. 133.
What?
There it is. It's just back in December.
Oh, really?
That's a weird one.
We're getting sweaty.
Nice. All right, gotcha. Cool. So let's get into the pipeline. And so we're going to put up Motionbuilder. And all this is documented, so I don't need to show you where the plugins are. We have that in the syllabus. We're just going to do the thing for right now. Here's Motionbuilder. In the meantime, I and everyone else should go into the shared repo, and let's just make sure you have the most recent one. If you open up the project and it asks you if it should re-import or import images, just say no. Try to make it a default setting, but some of those meta-human files are crazy, so just say no if it asks you to import settings. But for right now, just make sure everyone's at revision 73. And then let's get our data in here. We need to get OptiTrack running. So OptiTrack is part of our devices. And of course, Motionbuilder has a really antiquated layout, and I wish Maya would finish harvesting its bones so that we could actually, I'll just use Maya with Motionbuilder's capabilities. We have a VPN, and when I put this in the VPN, everyone should be able to stream it from their own home. We are this Spring 2021 virtual production. It's on this is my IP over the VPN, so I'm doing data from myself to myself. I could do it just as localhost as 127.0.0.1, but because I want to send it to you guys, I'm doing it over the VPN. We're going to do it live, and we're going to create the stuff. We have a few things here. I'm going to point out what we have in our scene. We have all this OptiTrack skeletal data, and we have three things. First of all, we have this little green dot over here. This is a little rigid body that we may or may not use for a camera today. The new workflow doesn't really need it, but I made one anyway, so we have it. And then we have Nick, and we have Tenray. Both of them are labeled by their hips, right? And this is a little plus sign. There's a whole hierarchy of skeletons for each of them. So that's great. There's a little button way down here. I keep on saying that, but yes, everything's very out of the way. That said auto characterize. So both of these are already characters inside of my scene, called very characteristically enough, Nick character and Tenray characters. We don't have to characterize them. Now I'm going to go grab our characters that we used last week that are already in our project. So to keep things simple, I'm just going to use those two again. First of all, I'll start with the easier one, which is the Ready Player Me character. So let's grab that one really quick. Let's see, maybe I put it in my downloads. Ready Me. All right, let's see what that looks like. I already am noticing something, that it was paused and was in the background. I need to make sure that it, that it's always refreshing. Go down to the system and say, always refresh the viewer, even if it's in the background. All right, let's find. So what I'll do is, I will go into the project and export it so we can see that process, because that's actually what the documentation says to do. So I'll open up the project real quick. And, or I might have even put in the imports folder. Yep, I put them here for later on. We'll just jump that in there. Boom. Merge. No animation. Here's this sucker again. Remember, he has like the crazy big bones. He's big boned, literally. Right? I'm going to put X-ray mode so I can see his little bones. And let's select all his bones and make him much smaller. Select branch. And go to properties. And make the skeleton size 1. For everything though, not just the hips. Select branch. Skeleton size. Skeleton node settings. 1. There we go. Alright. That's all that was his bones were just really giant. Alright, so this character's in our on our scene, but we need to characterize it. And we're going to go to our assets and get this character from the characters list to characterize it. Just throw it on the hips. Boink. Characterize. And he's a biped. His name is called character. Let's just go ahead and call it Ready Player Me or something like that so it makes it easier. So this guy's ready. Perfect. So that was a super easy characterize. Anything from Mixamo would be super easy characterize. Make human, really easy characterize. We saw make human, I had to do a manual process last week. And what I've done is I've saved that out. If you've seen already at the very top of week 12 is this meta-human. This is a little XML file for Motionbuilder that auto-characterizes, and I'll show you how to load that up. There's a little zip file, and it is an XML, which I put into the flower folder, which I will put now into just downloads. Alright, so metahuman. At the top, right here at the top right, if anyone's been in Maya, they know this blue symbol means the human IK system. And we're going to define a skeleton up here, which is actually, it's none. We haven't even put it in here. Let's go ahead and add in that skeleton I exported from last week. Again, that's in projects, and I put it in my imports. Yoink. I think it doesn't matter. Now, if you remember, he's not a T-pose. But what's the simple thing to do is find, like you see his upper arm is down and his forearm is in. What's a simple thing to do is kind of control select it all, or shift select it all. Is you go to the properties. If it lets me do it all at once, I could probably just zero it out. Here we go. Now it's pretty good in T-pose. None of that manual kind of just like rotating. This is good enough for us. If I wanted to, I could maybe make it a little bit more horizontal, but this is good enough. All right, with the root selected of this character, it might be easier to do it from the scene, or I showed you how to do the schematic last week. Let's select that root and define our skeleton. It's going to open up this new little interface for defining skeleton. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a skeleton definition. I already have one made that I just put to you guys in Slack. In the same way I was able to save it out last week so that I can give it to you. So let's, the funny thing is that load is going to go to a folder that I don't know where that is, right? So I'm going to browse for it, and it's going to give me this location. Right, somewhere deep within the recesses of my computer. Can can't really select it. It's really frustrating. It seems I don't want to have to manually go there. So let's, I know that if I cheat, if I go to save, I won't maybe do it. We'll just do it the slow way. Browse. I wonder, this is my new brainstorm. I'm going to go to my downloads. I'm riffing here. This one's already called MetaHuman because it came from this project. But what if I just dropped it? Oop, that's the wrong folder. What if I just drop this in? That'd be fun. Call this number 2. Oh, come on. Windows. A Mac will let me do this, I promise you. Okay, I'll just do it. I did this smarter the other day. So this is a C users me app data, which is a hidden folder. Roaming. Alright, human IK. Autodesk human IK. Template. Here's where they all are. And I can put number 2 here. I'm already getting too many folders. Blank. And there it is here for me to choose. Great. So now I choose this. Open. If it works. Didn't quite work. We'll try the other one. It's from the same file. Let's see which is the one I gave. We will do it the old way because I can't hurt. Let's do 2 panes and make this one schematic view. You don't have to do this. I can give you an XML file. I'm just not going to waste time looking at my other computer for this. Here's this guy. And we need to take the root and the root. And then the hips, pelvis, the spine. With the spine. And then with this is when we need some traveling music. You know, this is where I'm sure somebody's way smarter with this than me. Totally self-taught on this crap. And let's finish out the head. Neck. And what we found, though, I think Kevin figured out, is once I get in with this project, I can just save it. We can continue to use it. So we don't have to do this every time, as long as we're using the same performers. Let's go over to these arms. This is the almost there. All right, so we're gonna do clavicle left side. That's a clavicle. We're gonna do clavicle right upper arm. We're gonna do lower arm. And then we're gonna do hand. Painless. Let's find the, well, it seems they've already done the thighs. We'll see what does it think the thighs are. Alright, it keeps the thighs. So we'll find thigh left. Then we're gonna go calf left. And then foot. And if we want to get the rotation of the foot, we could maybe do the ball of the foot as well, right? So that's this one. Alright, let's go ahead and come back. It says something about it doesn't seem like it's parallel. It's fine with me. We're going to go ahead and save. And this is our new one is called and class 422. It's not characterized yet. I've just created the definition. I have to make it actually characterized. I think that's just by locking it. Lock character. It is a biped. And we're ready to go. So we have ready, and this character we're going to rename meta. And then we need to have ready, driven by, we'll do Nick. So ready is going to be driven by a character called Nick, and that's going to be active. Boom, it's happening. Meta is going to be driven by a character called Jinray. and that's active, and that's happening. Cool. And then I'm gonna hit save, and on my desktop I'm gonna say this is 422 in class. So this is all now saved for us. And we come back, it would have the OptiTrack device there, it would have the characterization, all that kind of stuff would be there for us. Because normally you have like the same performers every time. Let's go ahead and get this into Unreal. That is my my assets, my devices, and then it's Unreal. Again, you guys can look at this syllabus from last week if you want to see the links for how to install these plugins. We're going to do this at 60 hertz. We want to keep it a nice, good refresh rate, and we're going to add in our subjects. The first one being the hips of the Ready Player Me, the root of the avatar, and potentially, if we do a camera, we'll have camera 02. We're gonna add all three. Hips, root, boom, boom. We can call this one Ready. We can rename it. This will be the name that's in LiveLink. And this will be Meta. And then this one will just be called Camera. Actually, it's supposed to be called VCam, I think, or something like that. We'll figure it out. And let's go on. Works great for me. Sometimes you can get this over the VPN. I've been able to send this to myself over the VPN, but the OptiTrack works much better because it multicasts. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and open up Unreal and see what's going on. So we have our avatar playground from last week. I'm just gonna open up that level, which we'll just filter by, there it is, avatar playpen. Give it a second.
Should we open it up in the same file right now?
No, you don't need to open it up on your own. If we get done with a little bit of mocap, so we have enough for tomorrow or for next week's class, we'll do a multi-user session, and then we'll all open up the project together. But everyone should have already gone ahead and synced, just to make sure that you're where you need to be. But for right now, just watch this and relax and enjoy the soothing movement of range of motion dance. Then once we get, then we'll do face, then we'll do camera, and then we'll do some takes. We're making great time. I'm not even gonna get into what these bookmarks are. You guys don't even know. All right, so the metahuman and the Ready Player Me character, right? They're both on top of each other, looking like a totem pole. And we've already made this last week. They're both a blueprint, right? Blueprint for Ready, a blueprint, and that way I can, well, actually, this already came as a blueprint because metahumans come as blueprints, and AP Ready is actually a skeletal mesh actor, right? And with the skeletal mesh actor, we can choose what animation blueprint, right? So we have the character here, assets, skeletal meshes. So this is skeletal mesh, and this is animation blueprint. If I need to do some more fancy stuff with it later on, I can always add a regular blueprint. In fact, maybe I can do that now. BP Ready, and we will. Can't hurt to do more blueprint stuff. Blueprints, can be a way of doing code, but it's also a way of just stacking different assets together. I want to bring in this skeletal mesh, If I have it selected context sensitive, it'll rename it the right name. There you go. And then I get an option to use the animation blueprint. I'm going to use the little arrow and say yes, load in that one. Great, and now I have a blueprint. I get rid of this one and put in my blueprint instead. And then if I was going to have them actually do a fight sequence, I'd want them to all be on 0, 0, 0, so that they would be animating in relationship to each other. Or we can offset them, like for instance, when they get lost in the haze, I can manually be dragging them around so they're like, it's part of the effects of them being lost while going around in this forest. Great. So let's go ahead and get this live link data from Motionbuilder. There it is. We see a few things that's been loaded in. Some of this is the initial names. It's a little messy, but only things that are green are getting live data. So the active editor camera, I can edit the camera from inside Motionbuilder. Nothing I'm really interested in. Metadata, metahuman, sorry, ready, and a virtual camera should I need it. Okay. It's available for us. Let's go to the blueprint and load it in. This is the one we need to be the ready. So let's do ready, compile, boom, live data. Okay, let's go into this character, into its blueprint. And of course he's a little bit more complicated, but we just want to mocap the body for right now. Put in its animation blueprint. And choose the meta. Great, they're doing their thing. And now, oh, shit, I lost my light. I'm gonna be in darkness. Okay, never mind, there I am. And then, there they are. This fellow, I need to add that little live link component so it's always getting live data. Live link skeleton. There it is. So now, I'm not even hitting play and they're already animating around. So this is really good for prototyping and figuring out like your locations, your spaces, and your like how big a world is and how the range of motion a mocap performer has, like in this volume of motion capture versus the vignette within the world that you've created. So I'm not even hitting play, which is kind of interesting that they're like moving towards this. The virtual camera is actually the exact same way. It is. It's also before play. It's really before you do any effects. This is really truly prototyping at a very, very early stage. Let us do the face now. So let me show you the face really quickly. I'm going to bring up Studio Monitor, and then potentially some people can follow me along at home and give us some face data. So you do need to have Zero Tier installed at home or on your phone. It needs to be an iPhone X or newer, and it needs to have a live link face, which is free. The first thing I need to do is actually put it on my VPN so that it can pick it up here. Hopefully it'll work. Spring virtual production. Alright. Is it work? Thank you. Everything in the screen will be due. Okay, what network am I on? Love it. NYU. I'm on NYU. This one's not doing it. For showing you though, let's see if I can get it on the web on this iPad. Zero Tier, Spring, and do I have NDI? Okay, I had to download it. Start. One. Maybe I gotta bring in the virtual agent. Let us see if it just works if I use Live Link Face. I did put this in to, this is week 7 of class. I did it at home when I had my better network. Let's see what we got Live Link. Oh, well, this is just crap. Excuse me, folks. My phone was having issues before. Let's see. So make sure that I have in Live Link Face the 192.168.192.245. Let's go ahead and add that target. Cool. And now it says I don't have a true depth camera. All right, looks like face tracking is offline. All right, let's do virtual camera instead. So we're gonna do virtual camera today. Let's grab that sucker. So I put in some links for virtual camera, how to put the actor in your world, and a little bit of a walkthrough. Pretty straightforward. It's completely revamped itself in this last engine version. So we'll kind of go through this quick start together, and I'll set up on my iPad. This way you get to see what's on my iPad, which is not much. It's called Unremote or uRemote 2 in the App Store, and it's again a free app. And this is the documentation I'm getting from the syllabus. And the idea is to bring in an iPad as a camera, like as a VR headset. And then we can walk around inside the room and get camera takes and record those and change lenses and focus and all that kind of fun things. And it'll all be recorded live. And then we can debug face later on. So in our project, our shared project, I've already turned on these plugins for virtual camera, live link, and remote session. I've already gone into my UDP settings and changed it to my VPN settings. And if this doesn't work, I just know I need to restart my VPN, which is always a good thing to do. And then, actually, let me do that right now. Let's wait until this doesn't work first. Okay, and then it's going to be streaming video so that my viewport in Unreal will actually be on the iPad itself. So we need to change these the settings for the pixel buffer, and that's in your project settings, and I've already done that as well. So our project's already set up for a virtual camera. Let's go back to the documentation. So you need to go get Unreal Remote 2 app from the App Store. I think it's really called Unremote now. Let's see. Okay, Unreal Remote, new remote. And this is the free virtual camera. And all it is, you turn on and you put in the IP address. We've been successful with getting this virtual camera to work over, like from South Africa over here. Right now, we'll be doing it in the mocap space. I think I'm gonna have Kevin and Vivian trade off being the camera operator. So let me get this guy connected. So you see here on my webcam, I'm opening up Zero Tier. Zero Tier's, of course, a free app on the internet, and I have our network. That's all. We put in the network already. I've already given everyone a documentation for how to do this. So it's there on the VPN. And then I just choose Unremote or uRemote, and then it says it's trying to connect to this IP address. All right. Now I'll look back over on my project. I might even already have the camera in here. Yeah, it's already in here, so I'm going to delete it. that sounds bad. Let's just hide that one for right now. All right, if you go to replace actors, there's a virtual production section, and we're gonna grab the virtual camera too. And if I was gonna make it relative to all the mocap data, I'd put it the same 0, 0, 0, but for right now, let's just whatevs. What's cool with this one is that wherever I put it, it'll be wherever we hit play, that's where it's gonna start. So if I wanted like our camera operator to be a bird's eye view, I can place this camera way super high, and then when I start recording, they would actually start way super high. So that's kind of cool that I can kind of push and pull the camera operator around the space to help them get vantage points that maybe they can't reach. Right now, we'll kind of frame the heads. That's kind of funny, like looking back. Okay, so over here you see the details for the virtual camera. And the camera itself is all a regular cinema camera you guys already used for your midterms. But we have a component, right? If you ever like looked inside of these actors, they have little components inside. It's like peeking inside their blueprints, right? So if I looked at this character, I could peek inside and see there's that skeletal mesh and that live link stuff, right? All the stuff is kind of peeking inside. So inside this little virtual camera actor, the important component is VCam. All right, and I should be able to see. Okay, Mobu live link. That's good. Let's make sure, see if we can connect with the iPad. Otherwise, not as much fun. If it doesn't show up, I will restart my VPN. Let's do it. We're going to show networks. I'm going to turn it off. And then I want to turn it on and wait for it to hopefully bring up that blue window on the right side that's saying, hey, you're joining it. Yep, there we go. There we go. I probably knocked offline our Motionbuilder and our OptiTrack. Let's go back to, that's working, that's sending it, and that is streaming on our VPN. Motionbuilder. Come back to here, turn it off, and turn it back on. We did discover that when you restart the connection, sometimes you have to come down here and just like hit enter. I slammed enter. Maybe you didn't have to slam it like I did. Turn off live. Turn it off. Select something else. Select here. Let's type it in. 192.168.192.245 enter. And amazing. We're now going to see everything. All right, so the face tracking will work in a second too. All right, so we got these things here. Everything's updating. It's like I'm almost doing like many things at once. Remote session is our iPad. I was gonna say iPad called RPad. Let's go ahead and just save. Feels good to save. All right. So my iPad just saying waiting to connect. I'm gonna check out those assets, and I'm gonna choose a live link subject, and I can find my camera transform. All right. I'm gonna come down to this little section of output, make sure that I'm actively sending video to the web the face to the screen of the iPad, and then let's go ahead and say enabled. And immediately you see that I'm now a virtual camera inside of my space, right? And I can find them, and I can dance around with them, and it's using the AR kit to get its spatial anchors. And there's tons of stuff here. Obviously, you can change f-stop, right? You can change what your aperture settings are. You can go to maybe a little more wide angle lens, so you can see a little more action here. Right, crazy wide angle. Tons of settings. Film backs, all that kind of stuff. We can change orientation. We can focus on things. We can add in a little drag. We can take still shots. We can. One thing I haven't really figured out very much is we can move it around in space this way, which I haven't had that much luck with. Maybe I just need to like see more. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Sounds promising, but I haven't gotten to work. But the most important feature is the record button. Come on. Losing its connection. Well, our wonderful project just crashed, as you can see on the screen recording. And that is fine because I just saved. So let's just open it back up. Imports. So I open the project back up, and everything should just pick back up where we left off.
So technically, someone with an iPad somewhere else can be doing virtual camera.
Right, or an iPhone. I just download the app, and then I would select you as my live link source instead of this iPad as a live link source. So you can have multiple operators in here at once, and you can actually use multiple active viewports and do 2 cameras at one time if you want to as well. It actually lets you select which viewport it wants to send the camera to. So you can see, like, you know, if you're going to shoot a whole, like, obviously this is a lot for a 3-hour class, but for a 8 or 10 hour shoot, you can see that the setup time isn't that much. And also we're probably using the same performers over and over again, so we wanted to set it up from scratch every single time. As of today, everyone who's requested to be inside the mocap space has been here, so that was more the goal than speed. Waiting. Cool, let's see how much we have to get running again. Alright, so we just need to make sure our live links are all there. Boom. So awesome. Session, great. And then working. I think it saved the last state of all live links, so since we haven't switched over, we're good. And this one, we're going to go to that little VCam component. Select it. Great. So you might see here on the left side now I have a thing called Take Recorder, and this is what we choose what we're going to put in our sequence. And Take Recorder has a few settings that are important for us. The first thing is it's actually a global setting for Take Recorder, and I've already put it into our project. But as a plugin, if you go down to Take Recorder, the default setting I want to be record to possessable versus record to spawnable. Does anyone know what possessable means inside of the Unreal Engine? So
when you take over it, like in a sequence.
Right, you just take over something, right? You take over a pawn, right? You possess a pawn. So do we want things in our scene and we just take over them, and then when we're done with the scene, those things remain in the scene? And it's very clean that way, but what we want to do is we don't have our scene yet. We have a blank scene, and we have blank characters that we don't know what we're going to use yet. We're prototyping right here, super early stages. I don't want to actually use things in my scene. I want to spawn everything in the scene. I want to make sure that we can take this sequencer and put it into any of our maps next week, and it will spawn those characters in there even though they're not in there right now. It's way more flexible right now to make everything spawnable. But if I already had everything chosen, I was way later stage, every time I spawn something in, it would like duplicate the mesh. Right? We want to possess when we have our final asset. But for right now, let's go ahead and make it spawnable, and that way everyone can take these sequences, and if we're doing a sequence where we're driving the spaceship, and you have the spaceship, you can drag the sequencer in and hit play, and it will spawn those characters there and just move them around so they're in the right place to sit. So this is the flexible way for us to do things we're doing. So I need to put my items in that I want to record. And it's recording a whole bunch. You can see like the virtual camera is doing 420 properties, right? It's every single thing on a camera, the transform, the rotation, the position, but also the aperture, all the different camera settings. Zachary, because he's a much more complicated avatar, has 85 properties, and the ready character is a little bit less. So these are the things, we're recording them all. We can save these as presets so we can load and unload these combination of recordable things, right? So you can say like, okay, we're working with those characters in that camera at this point. So we have those presets, and then we can bring in some other sources. Some other things I like to look at is you can actually bring in other level sequences, so you can pre-animate and then do live mocap around an animated sequence. And then another one is you can actually bring in microphone audio, and this is where you can bring in a lavalier mic or a microphone from a webcam and get source audio for syncing inside your project as well. Cool. So we have these items here. We don't even have to open up a sequencer. It's going to kind of create a new sequencer. Let's get that camera going again. I'm going to choose the camera, and then we'll try one more time to get face working now that we've established that I was having a VPN issue. We got the camera transform. Everything is ready from our last settings. Let's go ahead and say enabled. Cool. So I've got my camera. It's not really loading on my side though. 1 second. Technology's fussy. Oh, okay. Let's take a look. It's loaded there, but let's see what the settings are. We are in virtual camera mode. Oh, but we're in the old virtual camera mode. We're going to go to new virtual camera mode. There we go. And that's why it crashed last time, because I've been playing around with doing different virtual cameras. Come back here in details. Disable. Let's go ahead and it's getting data. Avatar playground. Transform is active. All right, kind of forced it in there. Okay, now everything's fine the way it was before. Well, so the most important thing is this record button is locked by default, so I'm going to unlock it, and now I can hit record from the webcam. What's cool about this is that also I can do all these things from from my mouse as well. So I can have two people. One person could be on the computer helping out with a mouse, another person could be operating the camera, so they're not having to do as much with their hands. So that's another handy feature, is that you can do that from multiple places. So let's go ahead and record a sequence and watch that happen. All right. Record. Are you recording? Let's do record from the take recorder real quick. Alright, so there it goes. Now we're recording. So you see it's recording the bodies, it's recording the camera stuff. If I did any focus pulls or any changes there, we get those as well. And then you can even export the stuff as FBX and then bring it into Maya or something like that if you wanted to. Cool. And I'm gonna hit stop. All right, let it figure out what it's doing. Great. And so now it's blank, right? I have another blank slate. I can open up a sequencer and record into a sequencer, but I want to review my take. If I go all the way back over here to the top left of my sequence recorder, I want to review last take. Go ahead there, and then lock into the camera cuts. Let's bring out the active UI. Let us disable for a moment there. Okay, let's review. And there's our take. You see what I mean by spawnable? This is the ones I'm scrubbing. Oh, look at that. That's a cool glitch. Painful. But it also has the live data showing in our level as well. So it does get confusing if you were trying to do something in your final scene. That's why you want to possess them. But for us now, we can take this sequencer, which is now called Scene 105. Before we move on too far, I'll show you. We could just throw that in to any other level, and there will they be, and there's our camera, and it all works. So you might get a little confused here. You have to get everything's kind of locked. You can't be reviewing a take. You need to go back to the pending take to get going. Cool. So, with that being said, if our performers and our mocap technicians and our camera operators would want to come back into the room, let's do some takes from our script treatment. Let's get some things in the can for like 30 minutes and have some takes in our project for everyone to use. Cool. You guys can see. They can hear me. They can hear you. They don't really have the ability to talk back because of a feedback issue. So just keep that in mind. That they're a little bit strapped when it comes to their ability to communicate to us. So they're going to be pantomiming to us. You can add your mocap together, but right now we're going to do things like this just to get in the groove. Tinray and Nick, who's who? Who's Lucas and who's Truman? I don't think it matters too much. Truman? Okay. So Nick is Truman and Tinray is Lucas, all right? I'm going to go out of so let's go into Motive first and get live data. Go live. Let's see if you're still tracking. Looks good. All right. So that should just automatically have updated. Motionbuilder looks good, which is updated. Unreal, which looks good. There we go. All right. So first of all, we need the motivation, right? The motivation is we're going to be driving, steering the ship first. So you guys want to grab some chairs? One of you try to grab this one right here with the green on it because we took the back off on purpose. So there you go. So Truman has a chair, and then Tinray. All right. You can just lean forward in the other chairs. It's fine. Just grab any chair. Any chair. Just a chair. All right. Cool. Just sit down. And right now, do you want to rehearse a little bit? Let's do a little. So you remember the things are optical, right? So if, for instance, our metahuman, Nick, you're braking a little bit. If you ever feel like you need to stand up and do a T-pose, it'll fix you. Give it a shot. Tinray, you see that also, it'll fix you, and then you come back down. Just keep your backs away from the back of the chair so it sees you better. Great. Okay. So there we are. You're in here, and let's connect the iPad. Are you ready, Kevin? Or do you want a few more moments? You want the iPad to face you though, so you can see what you're looking at in the world. So just turn the mount around on it. Just inside the mount itself. Yeah, flip it around. There you go. And yes, you're making a little glitch art here, folks. Nice. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the, I'm going to say don't import. Remember we said we don't want to import that stuff. Alright, and we're going to say, we're going to make the view report active so that Kevin can see what's on the screen. And so that's now active. And we're going to make it enabled. Alright, there you are. You might not be looking at them because of the orientation of the camera when I started. See if you can find them though. Are you in just like a totally different level? There they are. So because we're not using the motion capture system, we're just using ARKit. The camera was rotated in the wrong direction, so it's a little bit disintuitive, but we can at least frame things up and you guys can see what our technician crew is doing. All right. So we'll try doing the mocap system too, which is maybe a little bit more accurate, but this is just to get us started. All right, so for our mocap performers, remember, I want you to stand first, give me a T, we're gonna call action, and then you're gonna sit down, and then you're gonna start doing your stuff, all right? And what Kevin would be saying was he would be saying rolling, right? I'd say, he'd say rolling, and then the mocap technician would say speed, and then the director would say action, right? So, Kevin, whenever you think you have something that's good enough for a prototype, give me a little thumbs up. All right, so he's rolling. Mocap is already rolling. If I wanted to, I could record in Motive right now, and then also be recording Unreal. But I'm not going to do that because there's too many steps. But it would be good if we want to retarget the data later on. But for right now, let's get a take in the bag. So Kevin, you'll have to unlock on the bottom left of that iPad. I can do it for you if you want. There you go. And see if the record button works for you. It wasn't working for me. Here we go. And we're rolling. Sit down. Great. And we're steering, okay? You guys are steering through space, all right? Both of you are driving at the same time. Maybe one person's, Lucas, you're driving, and Truman, you're navigating. You're like hitting buttons, and you're like turning off and on exhaust things, yeah. And then in 3, 2, 1, a giant space snake is going to come blasting out of a vortex way off into your right in front of you, okay? 3, 2, 1. Giant space snake is going to go past you. Oh my goodness. And it's flying directly ahead of you. You guys want to chase it, all right? So drive, chase it, all right? You're going after it. Awesome. Amazing. All right, so you see a planet. It's way out ahead of you guys. Maybe one of you points at the planet. Do you see it? You gonna point at it? Yeah, there you go. And now slowly start landing onto the planet. Bring it down. There you go. And you're landing, and 3, 2, 1, shake, you landed. There you go, a little camera shake, and then cut. I'm gonna hit the stop button on my side too. All right, so what's cool about this is not only do we have all the stuff, but it's, it's like, it's a movie, but it's 3-dimensional. And it can play back immediately to a VR headset. We just made a VR theater piece. Right? You don't have to use the camera, you don't have to use the performers, you can use any components in the sequencer, take them as you want. Alright, so I'm going to go and review our take. And let's see what it looks like. Now, I told you we're doing spawnable, right? Because we want to be able to put it anywhere, so that is the downside, is that those characters are there. I can always just like kind of say, go away for right now while I'm reviewing my take. Alright, so there you go. And let's hit play. And if we record audio, the audio will be playing back as well right now, which is cool. Well, so we have a nice little view from the back. Kevin, what do you think for another angle if we want to get a second take? You want to start framing that up? So again, it's weird because we're doing ARKit, and he's not even actually pointing it at the performers. He's pointing somewhere else. Cool. So I'm gonna go back to, okay, so now we're back in live mode, right? Because I think the camera was overriding that, so that's good to know. And unhide our performers so that he can frame. And then go ahead and stand up. All right, we'll see right now, maybe because we're in a repositioned activated mode, we're not getting live data. Let me go ahead and get rid of our sequencer and see if we can go into live. Let's see. Something got a little funky there for a second, but I think it's not a big deal. Yeah, we're back, folks. And notice, I never hit play. Right? We're just like before we even get to the execution of other things. Sorry, what was that? Okay. I'm gonna turn this off. Let's see. Let's lock it back. And I think, okay, that made it go away. If we're locking it, so I think maybe that's good. Let's make sure you're actually an active camera. Okay, now you're back live again. Sorry about that. Takes a team. All right, you guys want to sit back down? The mocap performers, you're welcome to sit back down while he's framing. He's framing the shot, so he needs to see. Go ahead and sit. Sit your shot. Yeah, go ahead and sit, and go ahead and just pantomime your activities again, so he can frame you up. First, changing the size of the tripod. He's not having a seizure. It looks like he's having a seizure, but no. You good? Oh. Our director of photography would like to have a shoulder-mounted shot. How does that feel? And there is drag on there, Kevin. I just don't know which button it is. Obviously now you guys see the beauty of having a little bit of a smoothing function on here. But go ahead. I think it's a good shot. I think it's good framing. Let's go ahead and give it a take. All right. So, performer standing up in a T. All right. And we're ready. And then we'll go ahead and unlock the recording button, Kevin, on the bottom left, or I can do it for you. And then hit rolling. It's going to open up a sequencer for us if I don't have one already, right? Yeah, just 1 second. I wanted to do a. It's trying to. I need a sequencer. Yes. There we go. Now we have a sequencer. Now let's try again. And give it a second. Now it's going. We're rolling. And action. All right. So you guys, somebody's steering, somebody's hitting space buttons. Space buttons, turning things on. All right. Doing your stuff. There's a cake in your dashboard. You see the cake. You're going to eat that later on. There's a cake. It's amazing. It's fantastical. And then maybe, Lucas, you want to look back and there's a woman in a cryogenic chamber behind you. Yeah, okay, yeah, she's still asleep. Okay. We're still trying to find that space snake. And when you least expect it, 3, 2, 1, space snake comes out from the right, goes right by you. Oh, it's scary. It's super scary. It's amazing. And so it's flying right past you. It's going to a planet. You're going to go faster. Try to chase it. Faster, pressing buttons faster, steering more wildly. Great. And now you see the planet ahead of you. You're going to slow and make the approach. You're going to bring yourself in. You're going to drop down the landing gear, steer in past the cave, or sort of past the mountains, and low down. And then we're going to feel the shake in 3, 2, 1, landing. A little shake. Both are great Captain Kirks. And then turn off the plane and let's get out. All right, so get out of your seats, take off your seatbelts, and then walk to the door, which is to your right. The door is to the, behind you and to the right. We're inventing space. And go that way or somewhere. Yeah, there you go. You're going into your own chambers. It's fine. And cut. Come back, give me a T. Give me a T in the space. It doesn't matter anywhere. It's a T anywhere. A T anywhere. There we go. And cut. Great. So we now have, and so you guys relax. Good job. There we go. Very good job. So I'm going to do a little bit of review once this gets done generating movie data and final section render. So again, maybe we didn't have a chance to do a focus pool, but we can always animate on top of our sequencer and add a focus pool or add in an explosion later on. So it's cool that we can have this and scale up or scale down. I'm going to turn that off. And I want to review the previous take. So that was a short take. I want to go to even previousser. So all clear pending takes, show and hide take browser. Let's go to our take browser. And for our takes today, this one was 07. Load it up, dock it down, and let's see our action. All right, it's going to hide our other folks, lock in the camera view, and let's just watch cinema history. I love that the legs are just like weird spaghetti noodles.
Hey, Truman was supposed to be an alien, so.
Yeah. It's for sure. Truman's on the left for sure. This is great. So we have these takes for reference. Again, if we'd done it in object track, we can retarget to all our characters, right? Right now we're only getting it to these characters. We have to do another retargeting process like in Unreal or something, or we can export it later on. So this is good stuff. I'm happy with getting the space driving scene. I think we can cut to walking around outside in space. So if you want to go ahead and jettison those chairs out of the volume, and let's think about where you want to go. So we're gonna do a approach to the cave. All right. So if Nick and Tinray, if you would get Tinray where you're standing is good, right? Come over to the corners a little bit more to the corner there, and then Nick will be there with him. Okay. You're gonna walk from that corner to that corner, slowly looking at instruments in your hand and trying to trace a radio signal. Right. You're scanning for a radio signal, and you're slowly walking towards this cave over there. That's your action. Cool. All right. And then our camera team, I think that we should get maybe a forward-facing and walking backward shot of them. So we'll find them in the scene, and then frame their faces because we want to see their faces. And if this works, we'll get a take of this, and then we'll try to connect face capture with some people. If anyone has gotten zero tier and live link face working on their phone. So it's not refreshing the viewport. I'm going to wake up live link real quick and make sure that we are getting the camera transfer. There it is. Seems to be sputtering a little bit. Let's go back to the camera and find that VCam component and just make sure we're selecting it. There we go. Looks like it's live again. And yes, Vivian, what's weird is that it's not facing the right direction. So you have to find them. They're gonna sneak up on you when you least expect it. I'm kidding with you. They're hidden. I'm so sorry. There they are. Now we can find them. No. Oh man, that was just embarrassing. So okay, so we see the shots. We're in front of them, but we're actually looking behind them. Let's see if I can fix this somehow. I'm gonna disable you really quickly, Vivian. I'm gonna see if I can move you in front of them and rotate you so you have more space. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make you disabled, not active. I'm gonna hit G for game mode so I can find the camera, and then I'm going to move it somewhere else. Maybe I can make it active but not UI. Sorry, I'm still learning this stuff myself. Enabled. Okay. And then maybe I can add another viewport. And find the camera and force it. No? Force it? Won't let me. Oh, what I did was I offset the VCam. Let me undo that real quick. It should be zeroed out. It is zeroed, zeroed, zeroed. Just trying some crazy stuff. Oh, there we go. I can move you around maybe this way. That works? I was able to reframe you that way. Oh, that's great. So now we can see their faces. All right, let's get a take of them walking then. That's cool. Okay, let me, that's good to know that I can do that. You're still live. I can just rotate you with my mouse. All right. Actors, are you ready with the T-pose? Vivian, are you ready with the camera? I can hit start for you. Let me give you the active viewport. And then it moved you somewhere else completely. Let's see if we can find them again. Ah, we're behind them. I think this is an AR kit issue. Cool. Let's go that way a little bit so we can get in front of them a little bit, get their faces. Oh, that's great. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and hit record, and we have action. All right, you're slowly walking. Slowly walking, you're slowly scanning. All right, go. You're walking, you're scanning, you're looking for things. All right, you're looking around. Oh, you're getting a signal. You're getting a signal. There's a cave in the corner. You're in a cave in the corner. Maybe you're gonna walk a little faster there, and then let them go by you, Vivian. You can frame them as they walk past you. Keep on going to the corner, guys. Keep on going all the way, all the way. You don't need to watch yourself. You're watching the cave. There we go. That's some experimental theater right there. And cave. And cut. I turned off the recording for you, Vivian. Good job. All right. So now that we're looking at the face, if you guys want to take a second to sit down, relax, I'm going to try to get people's face tracking going on for you. All right. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to hit stop on this one, Kevin, so I can get back into the editor. All right. And this is, I guess, why they have the lock button. Lock. All right. So it's locked off. They can play around with stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can show you my face again. Or actually, LiveLink wasn't working on my computer. That's the weirdest thing.
Quick question. Can we put characters on a dolly, or does it only have to be camera?
No, you can put characters on dolly, totally. You can put anything on dolly for sure. Just parent it and zero it out. So, does anyone is anyone trying to do the LiveLink face and is putting in the IP address 192.168.192.245? This is now in the Zoom chat. For anyone, I'm gonna get another. My phone is acting weird. It's saying my True Depth camera is no longer working. Where's my other camera that I have here? All right, I ran and got the camera from the other side of the building. Let's see if this one works. Spring. All right. So I need to put in 192.168.192.245. Hit add. And live link. And I now see Apple AR face tracking. Great. So let's bring that into one of the performers. Let's go for Zachary, which is another name. Let's see. All right. So in the viewport, the broken legs. This is a bad retargeting job, is what that is. That's because the thighs were already loaded. I need to undo that. Okay, let's see if we're getting live link face data. All right, we have live link there. Let's go into the head. Maybe it won't do it when we're live recording. Let's see, face animation. Boom. once we get face, we're gonna do one more take, and then we're gonna try to do multi-user editing with the last bit of class. Because we're gonna take a break too, and then we'll try to do multi-user editing. Right now, we're just gonna wait on my computer to just like do whatever it's trying to do. I think it like had a really big launch or something. The meta too big for my computer. Here it goes. All right. Go to the face. And let's not show bones. Don't worry about it. I'll just load it in. My defaults is going to be Todd. Pile. And we see that it's animating. Cool. If we come back over to here and we get our camera and we turn off the active UI, I shall find Zachary. You see I'm now a face. Cool. So now I'm animating as the face of Zachary and we're ready to go. Would you like to do one more take of that same shot? Well, it's going to be funky, I know, but we'll get it working somehow. I'll go ahead and give you back your active UI. Right here. And then you guys are kind of stuck in a corner. So you can do the opposite shot. You let him walk away from you. That's fine. It's already framed that way. Cool. Beautiful. Performers in a T. All right. Kevin, you'll have to unlock the record button. All right. And action. We give her a sequencer. Okay, and action. Cool. You know what? Okay. They're not live. Let's say enabled. All right. Are you guys not? Can you move around? Let's just check our live link stuff. It's getting data. Here we go. Let's just save everything. I think I have some sort of override thing on. Let's go ahead and save all. Save all. Just want one more take. And let's go ahead and close sequencer. Enable camera. I'm animating, but they're not animating. Let us connect the motion capture. Okay, let's do the motion capture. Alright, body. Body. Stuck there. Meta. Compile. Let's see if the pipeline got a little funky. Got a little funky there. Alright, that's where the data died. Let's see, UpTrack is still playing. OptiTrack, you're not playing. That's cause no, it's in live mode. Can you guys come to the center of the room? So the culprit is the OptiTrack is no longer working. Let's see. Let us go to edit and then back to live. There we go. Waking up, coming back, back to there. All right. So the scene is, we're gonna play to the camera a little bit, performers. Let's go ahead and select camera transform. You should be active now. All right. So what my suggestion is can our performers go to the opposite corner? Go to the corner you're gonna walk to. Go to the corner you're gonna walk to. Yeah. And now, all the way, all the way. And now walk to us. All right. So T-pose. And we're ready whenever the camera is ready. So Kevin's giving a little direction. He's going to tell him which way to go to play to the camera. The sequencer open now. All right, tell me when you're ready. You good? All right, I'm gonna hit recording here. All right, you guys are scanning things. Walk forward. Yeah, you're scanning things in your hands, and then walk towards this corner, right in front of the camera. Slowly, you're scanning. You got mocap data on the face. Got weird haunches on the thighs, but we are looking. Ah, you see the cave ahead of you. Point at it. There it is. There's the cave. Let's go into it. All right. Go into the cave and cut and give me a T. Come back into the volume and give me a T. Come back to the volume and cut. All right. So we got a little take here. Let's do a little review, and then we'll take a quick little break, and then we'll try more multi-user editing with the last bit of class. Well done. Well done. Definitely very funky. Definitely funky, but funky and fun. All right. So let's go review last take. It recorded this little buffer take. Let's go ahead and open our take browser. Find our stuff. Take browser. So content. Everything is in cinematics. Takes. Today's date. And the most recent scene, almost. That was one before. That was the one after. That's the other one. 110. This is the one. There we go. So do we get the face data? Yeah, we do. It's recording all that plus face data. That's pretty impressive. Or if you guys want to dance with your pre-recorded selves, you can try to punch yourself. All right. Now it's a little dance party. Awesome. We're getting face data. Look at all the performance happening. This is like now the scene where they get lost, right? This is so confusing. One of you could be a pizza sandwich, and the other one's going to be a talking stack of pancakes. Who knows? Great. Classic dolly shot, or classic pan shot with them. And awesome. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is these are actually fairly lightweight. I'm going to get out of the take recorder. I'm going to close out of the virtual camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit this to the repo. All right. I'm going to submit source. It's going to find assets check-in. It's just going to find a whole bunch of takes. Okay, save. And this is just a bunch of cinematics. Submit. And then when this is done submitting, which should only take a few moments, then everyone can pull remotely, and then we'll take a 10-minute break. But before you take your break, make sure you pull the project first. Don't want to close my eyes. Hopefully it's small. I think it's small. This is why I prefer using Tortoise, because I can actually see what's happening. And give it a second. I will, though, stop recording OBS while this is happening. We'll do another take for the second half.